Hi, welcome to Local Flavor. My name is Oystein Solberg, and we're at the Institute for Culinary Arts, where we're hanging out with Chef Michael Combs.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Of course, thank you for being here.
Yes, I always look forward to it.
We're kicking off yet another. Yeah, exactly. We're kind of kicking off yet another season of shenanigans.
We are 2019.
Man, like we're still going strong.
I know it's been. I think is this the ninth? The ninth.
I think so. Yeah. Man, we're getting old.
Still going.
We're getting old. All right. So, what kind of fun shenanigans we got planned here today?
So we're going to do some braised lamb shanks, and particularly, I think we're going to do. Well, I know. So we're going to do a French, kind of a French version. Every country seems to have their own version of lamb shanks or shanks.
Yeah.
Just because it's a tough cut, but it's a delicious cut if you know how to break it down correctly.
Yeah.
And get it so it's nice and tender and still not
just
so
succulent.
Yeah, and not so where you can really. I mean, because sometimes you can overcook it and then it's just dry.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna.
But I think people hear like shank and they hear like tougher cuts, but like people are just kind of used to steaks and like how just easy and convenient they are, which is good and dandy. But like a cut like this, like it just takes a lot more preparation. Like if you were to throw this on a grill, like you would be eating like a red rubber ball at the end. Like it's just
right. It needs moisture. I mean, usually moisture and heat to kind of break these down. And they say like usually the cuts that are, they say the hoof or horn. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we do in the chef's world. We say the things closest to the hoof or horn are what are the toughest.
Yeah.
Because they move around so much. They need the animal needs it for stability.
Yeah.
And so
so it's muscles that either like hold weight or just help.
Exactly.
Like a transportation muscle. Okay.
And so, but the thing is, they have excellent flavor. And really, back in the days, these were the cuts that nobody wanted, right?
Yep.
So these were like, if you were poor or whatnot and had less money, I mean, this is what you got.
Yeah.
But what's interesting now is this is what you pay big money for.
Yeah. Like say like short ribs. Like it used to be dirt cheap. Like nobody wanted to touch them. It was like
right.
It's just like it's a lot of work, and people need to know how to break it, like how to process it to make it edible.
Exactly.
But now it's like crazy expensive.
It is, and I think it's
bonkers.
I think it's because of that. I think some people don't know how to make them.
Yeah.
And then they also, they don't know how to cook it, how long, or any of those things. Or they just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And it's not something you can just put on the grill, like you said. I mean, it'll be really, really tough.
Yeah.
And so this would be like maybe the equivalent of doing like barbecue for the Americans.
Yeah.
And so but it's delicious. I think it's perfect for the wintertime. Probably pretty much any time you can shred it and put it into raviolis.
Totally,
you can use it for sauces or whatever. But I mean, just having a great lamb shank with.
And it's great just utilizing the leftovers. Like
exactly.
Instead of like putting in like a ravioli, like it's delicious.
Yep.
Like it's really good.
And it's fairly inexpensive. I mean, depending on what you get. I mean, as far as these tougher cuts, they're fairly inexpensive. But once you cook them and put all the time and technique in it, that's when you can charge a little bit more, at a restaurant. So these are money-making cuts, in my opinion,
Totally.
And so, and they do require a little bit. I mean, they definitely require more skill.
Yeah.
For sure, right?
But that's what we're here for, right?
That's what we're here. We're here to show you how to do them.
Stuffs.
That's right.
So, so instead you got lamb shank. So that's just kind of like the lower part of the shank. So like down from the thigh and whatnot.
Yep, exactly. So right below the thighs, it's kind of like the ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the ankles, but not quite all the way down to the foot. But that's what they are, and so they are tough. But like I said, but they're, we want that for right now. And, and then there are like 4 shanks, which are in the front, and there are also the hind shanks. So depends. I mean, so if you go ask for shanks at the butcher or whichever supermarket, make sure you know what you're asking for, because some of those hind shanks, these are fairly large. I mean, if you look at those,
and it's just more meat to bone ratio on hind shanks rather than foreshanks.
Yep. Yeah. And so they're kind of large. But I mean, if you're trying to get really nice, because we do, like when we're doing parties, we really want something very nice that's going to sit on the plate. You might see smaller ones, but those are probably 4 shanks or that. So don't freak out if you see a different size or they look a little smaller if you go out to eat and you think they're ripping you off. It's just they're a different size and that sort of thing. But they'll take longer, for sure. But
like foreshanks, you just need a little bit. Like it's not quite as much meat on there, so it's a decent amount of bone. So you just need more raw weight per serving.
Exactly.
So you just need to kind of bulk it up a little bit.
So, but we'll get started because it says kind of a long process. So I'm just going to put a little oil in here, usually like a neutral oil, something I try to put in there.
So it's anything with like a high smoke point.
Exactly.
Like trying to get like a good sear on it.
So olive oil wouldn't be the best, Maybe if you put a combination of olive oil and butter or clarified butter, maybe that might help.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see in the pan, it's kind of like a shimmer. And so now I know it's ready. So they call those legs. So you don't. The thing is, like everybody always heats their pans up so hot, and then they get so hot, and then you're just burning everything off. You're burning up the oil, and you get all this bitterness in there. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Right. You just want it to be hot enough to start searing.
Yeah. Because basically what we're doing now, like it's starting to build the sauce, not necessarily just prepping the meat to get the meat done. Like you're really creating the base for the sauce itself, which in my opinion is one of the best part about braised meats.
That's right. So one's the most important for sure.
Totally. Like so if the pan is too hot, like it'll just burn, and you're not gonna get the same foundation for the sauce. But you want to get like sticky bits, but not burnt bits.
Right. And so we're gonna lay these in here. The other, so as you see, also we're not using a non-stick pan. The reason why I don't like to use a non-stick pan either is because you develop more soups in there.
Yeah.
They get stuck to this pan because most people don't like using it because they do get stuck to the pan. When you
But here you want them to stick a little bit.
We want them to stick to the pan because we want all those brown bits and pieces that are in that pan because that's what makes this dish delicious. We're basically building all that. It's like a one-pot cookery typically is what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's home cooking, and we're building flavors layer by layer.
Yeah. So that's the nice thing about braising, because like it's like the flavor is so complex when it's done.
Right.
Right. Because you're really kind of adding the flavoring of time, and like you can't cheat time. Like it
can't.
takes a lot of time to build that flavor and that complexity.
Yes, and so of course, I'm sure everybody is in the Instapots right now too. So there is that version.
Yeah.
But there is that version. But to be honest, in my opinion, like it won't ever be as good. And I think because you don't have the reduction of liquids.
Yeah.
You put it into that pot, it will cook it fast. Don't get me wrong. That's better than going out to eat. Or it's cheaper than going out to eat. It's healthier than some places. So I would recommend that before not doing them at all.
Yeah.
But especially these days, a lot of people don't have time.
Yeah.
But these dishes are perfect for the wintertime when it's cold outside,
Totally.
right? You're gonna be in the house anyway.
Because like you can really kind of get them started, build them into the pan, throw it in the oven at like super low temperature, and just kind of let it go overnight, and it'll just break down super slowly, and it's so good.
And the thing is, so once it does break down, we're gonna put a liquid in there, and you'll see what we do. It's like so this is a combination cooking. It's a combination of searing, and then also like a stewing kind of.
Yeah.
But and so it's a combination of both things. It's a combination method. But what it's going to do is when you break it down, all that collagen and everything that's in these tough cuts, they go into the liquid, right? And they thicken the liquid. The liquid is going to be nice and thick, and we're not even going to add anything to it to thicken it.
Yeah.
We're not adding a roux. We're not adding a slurry. None of those things.
Because collagen, once it's break down, like it's going to turn into gelatin.
That's right.
And that's what's going to give it that beautiful mouthfeel.
Exactly, and that's what does it. But the thing is, and so that's also why I recommend this traditional way of cooking lamb shanks rather than even sous vide.
Yeah.
Because if you sous vide, you don't get that. You don't get it because it's in a bag, and you don't get to develop the sauce that goes with it.
Yeah.
And which is, to me, that's what makes it.
Yeah. Totally. So, so you already know that there's a lamb. So this is American lamb, right?
This is American lamb, and so usually it has a little less. They tend to be a little bigger than the New Zealand. They do finish. Sometimes they finish on grain or whichever because they want to put a little bit more weight on them, and they tend to be a little bigger.
Yeah, a little bit more fat, like a little bit more intermuscular fat.
Exactly.
But it's a little bit milder than New Zealand. New Zealand is just a little bit like harsher.
Exactly, has a little more strong. They call it lanolin actually.
Yeah.
Lanolin is that flavor, that flavor of lamb.
It's like a little sheepiness to it. Yeah. Like I personally like grew up like eating like sheep and like older animals. Like I personally like that flavor, but a lot of people tend to kind of stay away from them because they kind of remind them of kind of like gaminess. And you just kind of like wet wool and grass kind of mixed together. So it's up to you. Like neither of them are wrong. It's just the preference of taste, really.
Yeah, he's right. It's definitely the preference of taste. I mean, here in the United States, we definitely don't eat as much lamb as most countries.
Yeah.
I mean, and we eat a ton of beef, a lot of pork.
Yeah.
We're one of the largest producers of both pork and beef. But lamb, I mean, really, how often? You might see one lamb dish on a.
It's usually around Easter. Somebody can do like a lamb roast or something.
Exactly. So we're getting this nice brown. See that really brown, really nice and brown. That's how brown we want it. The browner, the better. And the truth is, don't fool with it too much.
But like it's just kind of like gently like sizzling. Like it's not just. We're not building a speedboat. Like it's just super nice and slow.
The heat is not cranked up. It's crazy. It's probably medium high. So we're just letting it go. And as you can see, there's enough room in the pan. So we're not crowding the pan. Because some people tend to, if you have like 6 shanks for everybody, right, you're going to want to put them all in one pan.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make because then it doesn't have enough heat and conduction to get really, really brown. So just do it in batches.
Totally,
right?
totally.
So if we have another batch, I'll pull these 3 out if they get really brown, and I'll throw them in, I'll do 3 more. If the oil is spent where it looks like it's gonna burn or something like that, I may just rinse it off or
just dab it out with a towel.
Exactly. Or if it's really nice and I think I can go, I might just deglaze it, harvest the soups in there, and then restart with oil again.
Perfect.
And then do it again. And so, but
like it's already starting to smell like lamb fat and deliciousness. Oh, this is gonna be good.
But yeah, this is a very important part. So don't speed this part up. You're cheating yourself.
Like it's slow food.
It is.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna keep searing these puppies and kind of get them all good and ready. I think we need like a cup of coffee and some shenanigans too. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back, and we're gonna show you guys kind of how to harvest all the delicious little magic action we got going on. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
See ya.
All right, we're back here again, and we got the lamb shanks are looking phenomenal.
Yes.
So they're seared kind of on all sides. They're looking pretty darn happy.
I have to agree. So I'm going to put these guys in this pot here.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to finish our...
So that's Dutch oven, right?
It is. This is a Dutch oven. You can get some nice expensive ones out there, but you can also get some fairly inexpensive ones. This is fairly expensive or inexpensive. And they last a long time if you treat them well.
Yeah, and it's like thick walled size, which is great, and it got a pretty like tight fitting lid, so it's like phenomenal for braising. Like we didn't want it to go get all dry and gnarly.
So I don't need all this oil, so I'm just going to take a little bit of it out.
Just dabbing some of the excess.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, and so you can see I left some oil in there, and then you see those little brown bits and pieces. Those are the important little souks there, or fawns. And so that's where all that flavor is.
But that literally translates to like little burnt bits.
Right. And so here's the other thing though. So if you think about when you burn something even if you just burn something like especially milk or something, imagine how much flavor that imparts to that being burnt.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You can ruin something by just burning it a little bit.
Yeah.
So just imagine with these brown bits and pieces how much they will do as well, quite a bit.
It was basically just relying on the Maillard reaction, like where the sugars are kind of caramelizing and just getting stuck in there and just...
That's right, we were using the Maillard reaction, and so it's basically the sugars in there that are caramelizing. And so if you want the caramelization, then you don't want water, right? I mean, you want it as dry as you can. And sometimes putting this, the mirepoix in here will help kind of deglaze it a little bit too.
Because onions will start releasing a lot of water and just kind of deglaze naturally.
Exactly.
It's going to be delicious.
Yes, sir. So we just kind of let that in there. And then one thing I like to do is, I don't have to necessarily do it now, but I'll put a little salt and pepper in there just to kind of layer a little bit of seasonings in there. The other thing it'll do is that salt will start to pull water out.
Yeah.
Well, it'll start to pull water out, and so you get more flavoring, a little more caramelization.
So deglaze and kind of like cook up a little bit cleaner.
Yes. Yep.
You see like already like a lot of the soups are coming out of the pan and sticking to your mirepoix.
Yeah, if you can see that right there. Yep. See how it's.
So that was just onions, carrots, celery. Yep. But if you wanted to, you can add like turnips and stuff like that too, right? Like you can kind of improvise a little bit.
Yeah, whatever you like. I mean, kohlrabi too, if you like. I mean, it's a brassica, so it might be a little strong, but you can do that as well.
We kind of just want to try and avoid too many like green vegetables. Like you don't want to throw like broccoli in there or something like that. Like then it'll get kind of weird.
Yeah, it'll get kind of weird breakdown and whatnot. And really, we could add these in there as well.
And so a little bit of garlic and peppercorns, bay leaves. Oh, delicious.
And so typically, I mean, we would strain this out. I mean, really, like if you want to get really fine, as far as cooking, this would all just come out. Or we could even, once you brown it and everything, we'll take these out basically, and then we'll strain them out, which is probably what will happen. Yeah. Which is what we'll do, and then we'll reduce it. I have made the mistake of reducing it with the vegetables before, and it got a little bitter on me. Yeah. Yeah, and it got a little bitter on me, so definitely I recommend taking them out before you start reducing your sauce and things. Yeah. So I like to get these brown as well. Yeah, get a little coloration going. Yeah, get a little coloration going, and then. But it's just kind of being careful with the heat and kind of keep on. If you start getting too hot, right? Because you want to get them brown but not seared. Right. Like it's just kind of like sweating them at fairly heavy heat. And so I will just put these tomatoes in here, a little acid as well.
So tomatoes and lamb are a super classical combination.
Yes, and it gives it body too, and so that's why we have this guy here.
Yeah.
As well, so
little tomato paste funsies.
Exactly, and that'll help thicken it as well.
Yeah.
But it gives it's sweet too, a little sweet taste to it, and it'll also it'll help brown up as well.
Yeah. So a lot of people are kind of like afraid of tomato paste, or they don't necessarily know how to use it correctly. Because like a lot of people would just add it like raw tomato paste to a sauce or whatever it might be. But tomato paste, just the way it is, like it's kind of harsh, it's kind of metallic tasty, like it's not too pleasant.
No, it isn't. Like it really isn't. But it's an ingredient for sure.
Yeah. But like when you use it like this, when you get a little color on it, get a little cook on it, like it's gonna kind of mild it up a little bit. It kind of takes some of the harshness out, and it'll just be a little bit more palatable.
Right, and it'll caramelize it as well. There's sugars in it.
Yep. Yep.
So we're gonna deglaze. So I'm gonna move this here so you can see all those fawns.
Looks delicious.
And so if you're doing this, what I'm doing right here in one of these lodge pots, because you truly can, you can do it in all one pot, pot cookery. That's traditionally how it's done. But these legs are a little large, for us, and we didn't want to crowd the pan.
Yeah.
But we still want to use this pan, which is typical of something that may happen at home.
Yeah.
I mean, who has like really large cooking vessels, all the time, and so.
But by cooking in there and deglazing it there, like you still get to kind of trap all the fun and trap all the flavorings like we've been building kind of through the searing and everything.
That's right.
So even if you sear in here but cook it in there, like you're still not losing out on any of the flavor.
Nope. So what we're doing right here is we just harvested all the fawns, right? So now you can see they're all. And look at it, it's already becoming a little thick even.
Yeah.
With the tomato paste and those things, and look how it's becoming rich already. And so. Next, we'll add we'll just add a little bit of stock to it.
Okay, so that's just regular veal stock?
This is veal stock. You can use beef stock, beef broth, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Lamb stock, if you like that flavor too.
So like if you're doing this with like chicken thighs, example, like another cut that's a little bit tougher. Like then you can change out, instead of using red wine, you can use white wine.
That's right.
You can use chicken stock instead. But like any kind of liquid you can kind of use, like it doesn't have to be wine, like you can be using like apple cider or any kind of fruit juice you can use. Like there's so many different like variables to a dish like this, like you can really and truly like make it your own with no problems at all.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you want like more of a I don't know, Mexican flavors or so, right? I mean, you can put dried chilies in there.
Totally. Yeah.
You can put more of that type of profile in there if you like.
Yeah.
If you like those type of flavors. Yeah, and so basically this is pretty much what we'll do.
Just gonna bring it up to a little simmer fun.
Yep, and so what we'll do then, we'll add this liquid in there. But so when we do that, we'll add this liquid in there. I'll see if I can show you. So I typically don't like to cover them all the way.
Because you only want to go about like halfway up on the meat or so. Because it's not stewing, like it's braising. So it's like it's kind of like, if it's completely covered, like it's going to be like stewing or boiling, like it's not going to be much different.
And you'll see that there.
But now like the top is just steaming, and you're going to get way more intense flavor as well. It's not going to dilute quite as much.
And so I like to put you could put that, you can saute these a little bit, but these are, I just got these from outside really about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, look beautiful.
And so just a little bit of that, and I put some thyme in there sometimes.
A little bit of parsley and rosemary. Yeah.
Yep. And I just leave them on the top because we're going to cover it up, and so it'll cook. It'll all be in there, and then when you're done with that, if you like, you can just pull these branches right out. You don't have to worry about being in there and all that stuff and getting stuck in your teeth and all that good stuff. But the truth is, we're gonna
strain it out.
We're gonna strain it out anyway. So really, don't worry about that. And
same with the vegetables too. Like you can cut them up, and like you can just do like a half an onion if you wanted to. Like for like the amount of time this is going to cook, it's all going to break down anyway. So
exactly,
it'll be delicious.
So we're thinking about 325 for about 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah, 2.5 to
even
2.5
longer.
to 4, kind of depends.
Yep. Oh, that's what I get for. That's what I get for not preparing myself.
Yeah.
It's these new glasses. That's what did it. And I didn't even see what they were there. So we'll pop these in here. So the important thing about braising is don't braise the crap out of them to a point where it dries out. Because even though you cook something in a liquid like that, it can be dry if you overcook it. It should be fork tender, pulling away from the bone, but not where everybody says, that's one thing that bothers me when it says it's falling off the bone. If it's falling off the bone, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
want to be right before falling
exactly
off the
right
bone.
before being right before falling off the bone. So you don't want it falling off the bone like everybody says. You want it right before that.
Yeah.
That way there's still collagen in there. There's still some fat in there. So
and it's still texture.
And it's still texture.
Like we're not making baby food. Like
exactly.
we're making, like we got teeth.
Yep. Exactly. So.
Yeah, so 325 for 2 to 3 hours,
Yep.
or until done. Like it depends if it's
Exactly.
4 shanks, or depending on what kind of cut you're using. If it's oxtail, it's going to be a little bit different. So just kind of get in there and check. Just use a fork, try and pull it off the bone, and just see kind of how the fork kind of twists in the meat.
Yeah, because the issue is there's no temperature. I can't tell you 180 degrees is done, because if it has to be 180 degrees
and
for
then
maybe 2 hours to break it down.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll get to 180, but it's gonna be 180 for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so there's no temperature. We can't say it's gonna be done at this temperature or not. It just you just gotta
until done.
Yeah, you just do it until done. Fork tender.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can go 325. You can even go lower too, and you can go higher.
That's right.
But
you can definitely go lower.
So when first starting out, like lower is a little bit safer. If you go like 225, 250, a little bit less chance of kind of cooking it too far and kind of making it mushy. But 325 works out pretty good. All right, so we're gonna sit here and watch the oven be hot for the next 2 hours.
Yep. And I think you're gonna. What are you gonna do with this one, Chef?
I think we should
I
think we just grab some popcorn. We just sit here and watch it.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it'll be a good day. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back, and then we'll show you guys how we're gonna put this on a plate.
Yeah, put it all back together.
We'll do something with it. All right, so you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
See ya.
All right, we're back again. We got our shanks out of the oven. They've been doing their wonderful, magic little delicious thing.
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh.
Boom. Steam.
Like you see him like pulling back from the bone. Like, oh, that looks beautiful. Oh, like it's barely holding on.
Yeah, it is barely holding on.
Beautiful.
Yep, it's barely holding on. So you'll see you see that?
Like it just pulls apart just by goodwill and luck alone.
Mm-hmm. And then you can also see there's still connective tissue on there. See that?
Yeah.
That's absolutely
gorgeous.
perfect right there. I'm not just saying that, but it really is perfect. It came out perfect. We got lucky. But yeah, this one came out perfect, and so.
So the good thing about this was like the bone here will have some marrow in it too. So as that braces, like it pushes marrow fat into the sauce, and that really.
And flavor too with the bone, you know. I mean, so it kind of is like.
Oh, it's magic.
Look at that.
Oh, that looks beautiful. All right, so while you're going fishing over there, we put together a little polenta here. So this is just cornmeal that we cooked in a little bit of chicken stock and a little bit of milk. We're gonna add a little bit of butter to it because it's us. It's kind of what we do.
Put butter in there.
Butter is good. We got a little bit of cheese in there, so this is just a little bit of Parmesan. Just gonna add that in there. A little pinch of the good old salt.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of pepper for good luck, So this is like good winter food. It's cold outside, it's miserable, and you just want to feel warm and happy and just cozy. So the general ratio when making a polenta like this is about like 5 to 1. So 5 parts liquid to 1 part polenta, and by the time that cooks, it's going to swell and kind of turns into this wonderful little kind of porridgey looking type thing. And it's just nice and soft and just filling and just, it's happy days. Like it's really just super delicious.
It's pretty inexpensive too. I mean, cornmeal is just, it's not the nixtamalized stuff like grits. It's not grits. Grits has been nixtamalized or has an alkaline kind of, has been soaked in alkaline. These have not. It's just ground up corn. That's what makes polenta.
Yep. But by the time it's done cooking, it's just beautiful. Like it's a little bit of cheese. You just kind of pour a good old bit in the bowl. And if you have leftovers too, you can make like little cakes out of it. You can make like little polenta croutons and stuff like that. Like you can do all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, they hold up real well. Like once you pour them into a pan, like with a little lip on it, and or you don't have to, I guess. And they just kind of solidify, and then you can cut them up whatever shape you want, and then you can sear them, right? Or serve them with marinara sauce with this, whatever.
So many options. So we're gonna just make a happy little family, because this is like family style food. Like it's just a pile of meat and sloppy polenta, and that's just filthy.
Yeah, it is. Like it's gonna be good for. It's great for the winters. I mean, look at and the sauce we have.
You see, it's already thickening up. Like just beautiful texture.
It's nice and it's got a nice consistency. They say the consistency of a good sauce, typically, not all the time, but we'll coat the back of a spoon.
Yeah, so it's like nice and nappy.
Mm-hmm. And you'll see there isn't a ton of fat floating on the surface of it either.
All right, so if it didn't dab out that fat, like before we started adding the Metropolitan, they would just have a lot fat shimmer on top. But this just looks
it came out
delicious.
But if it does happen like that, if that does happen, I mean, you can You could always just skim it off, really. I mean, you can just skim it off and
But it's easy removing before there's any liquid in there.
Yes,
like
it is.
It saves you
try
stuff.
to avoid it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So we're going to put some whole butter. Don't put melted butter or margarine in here. It has to be whole butter because of the fat content.
Yeah.
And it just keeps it helps it suspend.
Because the butter, the way it is right now, like butter in its normal state, like it's emulsified, like it's about 20% water in there. So that water makes the butter not feel greasy, and it just gives it a great round mouthfeel. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be delicious.
And this is what we were mounting it with butter, or in our terms or French, we call it monté au beurre, which is just mounting it in butter. And so we'll give it a taste.
And it just kind of changes the mouthfeel and the happiness.
See if it needs any salt and pepper.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's
like
good.
You really taste the red wine. The tomato is nice and present. But first and foremost, like it's very round, very like nice and round lamb flavor.
It is.
Like it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not overbearing at all. It's light and you can taste it. You can definitely taste it, and you'll be able to taste that polenta too. So, just be aware when you're making food. I mean, really, it's the balance that is so hard to achieve sometimes.
Yep.
Because, you want to taste a polenta. You don't want to just taste lamb all the time, right? I mean, you're supposed to be tasting a little bit of everything.
But like, especially with a dish like this too. So like when you season the lamb, like you didn't heavily season it.
Nope.
All right, because the sauce is going to be reducing. Like it's a lot of time that kind of affects it. So like if you season it heavy to begin with, like you could have a salty sauce at this point. But right now, like it's really like perfectly balanced.
Yeah, it's a perfect
beautiful
sauce.
texture.
Beautiful. Yep.
Oh, I want to swim in that.
There you go, chef.
Oh well, thank you, kind sir. So I'm not gonna go dainty or nothing. I'm really just gonna like this is like filthy food.
And this is one serving. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
This
is just for me. Right, so it's just like.
That's a pretty rich dish right there, but it's a beautiful, perfect winter dish, which you'll probably see this probably around that time anyway, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of these things are in the winter too, so.
We need to eat like all of this like right now.
Exactly. So sometimes we if to make it ahead of time, sometimes we'll make this whole thing braise it ahead of time, right?
And we'll just keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, we'll keep it in the fridge, and then you can just reheat it, therm it, and make your polenta, or you can use cakes, whatever, for the next day.
Totally.
And your sauce you can keep, and I wouldn't mount the whole thing with butter if you're don't think you're going to use it all. Save some for the next day or whatever if that's what you're going to use. But either way, I mean, you can
beautiful.
What's cool about braises is that they hold their moisture very well.
Yeah, if anything, they get better. It's kind of like a good soup.
Yep.
Like
we do those a lot for parties too.
Totally.
Right? We do large parties. We always try to do a braise because it's very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it's going to be good, that sort of thing. You try to do a steak that you're searing for somebody for 200, 300 people. That's very difficult.
Braising is just forgiving.
Yep, that's forgiving. And sure is.
All right, we need to eat all of this.
Yeah, it looks great.
So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Chef Combs, for helping out and dancing around. And it's been too long. It's been way too long.
It's been a year.
We need to do more of this. Awesome. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys will dabble in the braising. Now that you guys kind of see kind of the process, it's really not intimidating at all. It's really quite straightforward. And
it's like that for everything too.
Totally.
The braise, it's a method. You just learned a new method. Use that method on anything braising.
Yep. It's perfect. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
And you guys keep on cooking.
See ya.